Right after this, we're not just do a quick item. Once the announcement is over, then you take it to what you need to do, and then we'll move on. So take your time. All right, so right after the announcements. Let's see what right here. Okay, so I need to. We got everybody 1, 2, 3. So who we missing? Nobody. Mary Baker. You guys ready to rock and roll? Let's get this done. Testing. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Clayton County Public Schools Board meeting on August 4th, 2025. The time now is 6:01. We had no need for an executive session, so we will move on with the agenda as printed. But prior to moving on with the agenda, I want to acknowledge two individuals tonight who have lost loved ones. One is our own Joy Tellis Cooper, who's lost her grandmother. I think it was just last night. Am I correct? Just last night? Yesterday. And we also have Dawn Biles that actually lost her father, I think 2 days ago. So let's take a moment of silence just to acknowledge them and send our prayers to these individuals. Good deal. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Point of order, please. Before we proceed with
Before we, not to cut you off, Ms. Gorey, I heard that you wanted to make a motion in regards to CIS. That will be addressed as soon as the announcements is over. So as soon as that's over, the board members will be polled on the CIS contract to see if you guys want it added to the agenda tonight and voted on tonight. So when we get to that point, I will make that statement. We then will poll the board. As long as everybody's okay with adding that to the agenda, we then will start the discussion on it. We then will make a motion based off of the superintendent's recommendation. Depending on what that outcome is, that will be the outcome of CIS. Go ahead, Ms. Gorey.
Okay. In order for us to even do that, you don't poll. If you're going to poll, it needs to be added to the agenda to be voted up and down. So what I was wanting to do before we start is to go ahead and just add it to the agenda. And then since it would then be an agenda item to poll, then it would be there. But you are supposed to, if you're going to amend the agenda, you probably should do it at the beginning of the meeting.
Right. Clem, is it okay to poll the members after the announcements?
Yes, it is. And then if the motion to add it to the agenda is approved, the item would be added for discussion at the very end under the business agenda.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so what are you saying as far as adding it to the agenda? Should we do that?
The chair, after the board announcements, will entertain motions to add
Okay,
items.
well, I just wanted to be clear on that because we would amend the agenda at the beginning, but I'll wait until then. Thank you.
I think we have 2 board recognitions this evening. Am I correct? We do? Okay. Actually, we'll do the recognitions first, and then we'll do the pledge according to the agenda. So if Mr. White, would you take the mic?
And if we could have the board members to please come down front for the purpose of the board recognitions. And for the first recognition, I would ask Dr. Colbert, Dr. Young, Ms. Trina Reeves, Dr. Horton, and Dr. Guiney, if they would join the board down front. I would also like to invite, Dr. Shaniki Brown Reeves to please join us down front. Is she here? Here she is. We are proud to announce that Dr. Brown Reeves, a teacher at Mundy's Mill High School, has been honored with a formal Georgia House of Representatives resolution presented on March 27th by Representative Sandra Scott, Representative Viola Davis, and Representative Kim Schofield. The resolution was presented in collaboration with the Georgia chapter of the National Women of Agriculture Association. This prestigious recognition celebrates Dr. Brown Reeves' impactful contributions to education and her outstanding leadership in agricultural advocacy through her work with Agri-Teens and the Georgia Women in Agriculture. Her commitment to empowering students and fostering real-world learning opportunities has made a lasting impression on both our school district and the greater Georgia community. Congratulations. Oh, not yet. No, we got pictures and we got something else going on. And before Dr. Brown Reeves sits down, in addition, the Clayton County Public Schools Office of STEM and Innovation has been formally recognized by the Georgia chapter of the National Women in Agriculture Association and members of the Georgia House of Representatives for its outstanding leadership in promoting agricultural education and innovation within the school district. A House resolution presented on April 4th of this year and sponsored by Representatives Eric Bell, Sandra Scott, Demetrius Douglas, and Rhonda Berneau honors this office's transformative work through its Agri-Tech Solutions Initiative. This district-wide effort enhances agricultural learning by providing students with hands-on experiences in sustainability, agri-science, and farm-to-table practices, and we congratulate them on this honor. Did you get your certificate? Okay. Okay. For our last recognition of the evening, I would like to ask Dr. Douglas Hendricks, Dr. Ralph Simpson, Dr. April Crawford, Dr. Keith Colbert, and Dr. Delphia Young to please join the board up front, and also to ask Dr. Ebony Lee if she would join the board up front. And it's going to get a little crowded, but I would also ask the members of the Division of Communications, Public Relations, and Marketing and Strategic Improvement to please come forward and joined the board down front as well. I think someone is. You want me to? You want me to? No, Sharon, got it. Okay, okay. All right. Tonight, we honor the members of this division for their commitment to telling the story of Clayton County Public Schools in an effective manner. Earlier this year, this division earned 14 awards out of 14 entries in the Georgia School Public Relations Association Communications Competition. Tonight, we share this team has now earned national recognition in 3 categories. The awards were presented by the National School Public Relations Association through its Publication and Digital Media Awards competition. The 3 items that earned the award in the category of single video in-house production, it earned an award of excellence for a portrait of the graduate. In the category of newsletter, an award of excellence was presented to the school district for the Blueprint Tribune. And under special purpose publication, an award of merit was presented to the district for the 2024 Summer Internship Program booklet. Not all of the members of our division are here tonight, but it is imperative that we share with you the folks who make this all happen, because we all work together to make it all happen. Under the leadership of Dr. Ebony Lee as Chief of Communications, Executive Director Jada Dawkins, Administrative Assistant Bianca Durham, Administrative Assistant LaTanya Glenn, Ronald Jones Shields, Supervising Coordinator, Brian Phillips, who serves as our leader on social media, Peter Poole, who is our Manager of Television Services, our Associate Producers, Zion Vital and Gregory Jenkins, along with our someone who does something with all of our logos and things like that. That's Damon Irving. And then we have the head of printing services, Lakita Searcy, along with her staff, Janelle Myrick, Tammy Bearden, Phyllis Newsom, Sam Santos, Anthony Robinson, and Ricky Garcia, and last but not least, the webmasters team of DeAndre Weaver and Kaya Smith, and yours truly. So thank you and congratulations.
And 3.
That concludes our recognitions for the month of August.
Good. Thank you for that. Now, if everybody would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm now going to call the roll. District 1, Jasmine Bowles.
Present.
District 2, Mark Christmas. Present. District 3, Dr. Jesse Goree.
Present.
District 4, Victoria Williams.
Present.
District 5, Dr. D. Haney. District 6, Ms. Mary Baker is actually on vacation right now, much needed vacation. District 7, Sabrina Hill.
Present.
District 8, Ms. Joy Tellis Cooper.
Present.
And I'm District 9, Benjamin Straker. Superintendent, Dr. Anthony Smith.
Present.
Senior Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Douglas Hendricks. Attorney Clem Doyle.
Present.
Board Liaison Kim Blackman. Assistant to the Superintendent, Ms. Alicia Battle. And everybody knows that Dawn is with her family right now. Thank you for that. I forgot my ethics statement. You have a copy of the ethics statement?
It's in e-board.
All right. Bear with me, people. Sorry about that. I left it right in my car. And don't memorize it. Maybe that's what I should do now, right? Yep. Thank you.
ABCs.
Thank you.
No corners.
Okay, ethics statement. In accordance with Board Policy BH, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of such conflicts. Does any board member have any known conflicts of interest or appearances of such conflict with respect to any matter scheduled to come before the board at this meeting or appearing on our proposed agenda? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from participation in the matter involved. We have no public participation this evening, and we have no recommendations from the executive session this evening. Ms. Blackwood, if you could play the announcements for me.
Why is the sound?
Where's Dr. Pitts at? Is she here?
earlier.
No. I was gonna make a joke because she wants me to do this like her graduation. Okay, just a few seconds. Trust me, this is gonna be the longest wait, because after this,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, board members, Superintendent Smith, district administrators,
all right.
and
As
citizens
they
of Clayton
as they're
County.
trying to
My
troubleshoot,
name is
I'll
Rain
hand the
Walker,
mic
and I'm a
over to
2025
Dr.
graduate
Smith.
of
He has
Lovejoy High School.
a couple of announcements.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, staff, community, good evening. I just want to welcome everybody to the 2025-2026 school year, where we are continuing to build a better tomorrow today together. Today was nothing short of incredible. Across the district, we welcomed back over 50,000 students and 8,626 staff members who returned ready to make this one of the best school years yet. I was especially impressed by the incredible turnout of parents, volunteers, and community partners who rallied around our schools today. The numbers are still coming in, but so far we had 3,300 volunteers, with Rivers Edge Elementary leading the way with 375 volunteers, and Smith Elementary coming in second place with 278 volunteers supporting day one. From high fives at the bus stop to DJ beats filling the hallways to even some nervous energy, our schools were ready. And now you get to experience for yourself. Our award-winning communications department has captured the heart and soul of day one in a video
Good evening, Mr.
that reflects what makes Clayton County Public Schools special. As always, stay connected by following us at Clayton County Public Schools News and on my newly launched Instagram page at CCPS Soup. Thank you very much.
Good job. And welcome to social media.
Hopefully, our technology will allow for us to capture the moments that this video was able to capture with our phenomenal volunteers, staff members, beautiful, beautiful students, parents, and so I'm hoping we're going to be able to get that teed up.
And if we're not, then I'm gonna ask everybody to go to our webpage shortly after this meeting, first thing tomorrow, because these videos will all be on the announcements, and the videos will be on the Clayton County Public Schools website. So in the event, we'll give a couple more minutes. If not, I need everybody to do that activity. You have something? Okay, so as they're doing that, I'll move on with the agenda. And if they get it fixed
Good evening,
before
Mr.
the end
Chairman,
of the
Madam
meeting,
Vice
you got it.
Chair, board members, Superintendent Smith, district administrators, and citizens of Clayton County. My name is Rain Walker, and I'm a 2025 graduate of Lovejoy High School, and will be heading to Mississippi State University.
My name is Dolan Nijale, and I am a 2025 graduate of Charles R. Joe High School, and I will be heading to Berea College.
My name is Adrian Frank Esparcito, and I am a 2026 graduate of Riverdale High School.
My name
We
is
are all
Dolan
interns
Nijale,
for
and
the
I am a
Clayton County Board of
2025 graduate
Education.
of Charles R.
It
Joe
is
High
our
School,
pleasure
and I
to
will be heading
present the board
Berea College.
announcements for the
My
month of
name is
August.
Adrian Frank Esparcito.
The eighth
and I
month
am a
of the year is home to
2026 graduate
internet.
of Riverdale High School.
We are all interns for the Clayton County Board of Education. It is our pleasure to present the board announcements for the month of August.
The eighth month of the year is home to International Child Free Day, Respect for Parents Day, International Youth Day, National Book Lovers Day, Women's Equality Day, National Senior Citizens Day, and the start of the 2025-2026 school year for Clayton County Public Schools.
The school district will conduct its annual summer graduation on Thursday, August 7th at the Performing Arts Center in Jonesboro. The ceremony is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m.
A family engagement conference will be held at Mount Zion High School in Jonesboro on Saturday, August 16th. The conference will begin at 10 a.m. and continue to 12 p.m.
The August Board Work Session will be held Monday, August 25th. The meeting will take place at the Performing Arts Center in Jonesboro and is scheduled to begin at 5 p.m.
All schools and offices will be closed in observance of Labor Day on Monday, September 1st.
The district will observe the first extended learning beyond the classroom day of the 2025-2026 school year on Tuesday, September 2nd. All students in pre-K through 12th will remain home for asynchronous or independent learning, while all staff will report to work on that day.
The district will return to regular operation schedules on Wednesday, September 3rd.
The September board meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 3rd at 6 p.m. The meeting will take place at the Performing Arts Center in Jonesboro.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes tonight's announcements.
Yes. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Our teachers are ready, our faculty and staff are ready. We spent pre-planning, making sure our plan was ready for day one and the rest of the school year. So now we are here celebrating the return of our fabulous scholars. They are here, they are prepared. We communicated throughout the summer about expectations of order and structure that we want to make sure remains in our building. I am very excited to welcome all of our students back this year. This year, I feel it is going to be phenomenal. We are going to make all of the academic gains that we have set forth for this school term. We are going to make sure that we are on time to school every day. Our staff will be ready to take our students in so that they can learn everything that there is to learn this year. We are ready.
I'd like to welcome everyone back for the 2025-2026 school year. Hope everyone have an amazing year this year. Let's make this the best year ever.
It's going to be an awesome year, so let's make it happen.
Lock in for school.
Lock in for school.
I am rooting for you. As I always say, I'm your cheerleader. I'm here to support you, parents, mentors, guidance, guardians, and everyone. I am here for you. You all have an amazing and safe year. Talk soon.
Have a great, happy first day and a great school year.
Have a good year, everybody. It's going to be an amazing day here in Clayton County. We're doing everything we can to welcome the students back.
We are so excited about today.
And I'm so excited to be back. Woo!
Happy first day of school!
Man, that's excellent. Okay, great, good deal. I love the video, and it shows us what our core business is. That's what it's about. Never us, that. So let's keep that in mind. 180 days to go. So there has been a request to add the CIS contract to the agenda, which I want to put on the business agenda, item number D. But before I do that, I want to make sure that that's okay with all of the board members. I'll start with Ms. Bowles. You're okay with that? Mr. Christmas? Ms. Gorey?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Haney?
Yes. Yes.
Good deal. So everybody's on there. So can you please make the motion for us to add this to the agenda, and then we'll get the discussion started. What was that?
Well, actually, the only thing that was what I think you pretty much just polled the group. I just wanted us to
Right.
see if we could add it.
So
So
if-
everybody's okay with it.
Right.
So just,
Hill, could you give me the motion so that we can add this to the agenda? The CIS contract?
So moved.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
A vote, please. Good deal? Unanimous. All right, good deal. All right, let's get to discussion. Ms. Cooper, I think you had a question in regards to the CIS contract?
I did.
it's
Oh,
Yes.
at the end.
Right. Okay, you're right. Okay, got you. All right, approval of the minutes. Anybody have any issues with the minutes everybody reviewed the minutes? Good deal. The consent agenda for action. We got the financial report, SPLOSH revenue report, purchasing report, budget amendments, SPLOSH construction report, capital purchase report, and personnel change report. Is there anybody that needs any of these items removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, can I have a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. Bowles, second. I got Mr. Christmas. Can I get a vote? All right, it's unanimous. We're now up to the business agenda. Policy Series D, is there any discussion that's needed before we get the motion? No. Can I get a motion for Policy Series D?
So moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded by Ms. Sabrina Hill. Can I get a vote on Policy Series D? Unanimous. Next is the Policy Series E. Is there any discussion on Policy Series E? Seeing none, can I get a motion for Policy Series E? All right, I have a motion by Mr. Mark Christmas and seconded by Ms. Hill. Can I get a vote on Policy Series E? Unanimous. Next, we have the Student Tribunal panel members for school year 2025-2026. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Goree?
I want to make my annual statement that I am opposed to the student tribunal. Well, let me not say opposed, but I would love to see some advocates on the tribunal. Have not seen any in the 18 years I've asked for any. And also noticed that we didn't even say where these people actually work at. They're all administrators, which leads me to believe that may not have anyone in support of the students. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Go ahead, Ms. Coop.
I think to kind of piggyback on what Dr. Gorey was saying, I did request the same information. So if you could just send that over to us. So
Anybody else? Seeing none, could I get a motion for the Student Tribunal panel members?
I move that we accept the student tribunal panel members.
It's been moved by Mr. Christmas. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
And it's seconded by Dr. Jessie Goree. Can I get a vote? Seven affirmative, one
Opposed.
opposed. You got that? Okay, last thing on the agenda is item D, which is the recommendation from the superintendent to approve the CIS contract. Is there a discussion?
Yes.
Over to you first.
okay. So, is this on? I think my question is, I have a question. First of all, we received the information in our email just not too long ago. And we're still looking at that 1.2? 3. My question would be, and especially
1.29 to be more specific.
right. So my question would be, especially with you and I working this weekend on the situation we were working on, can you kind of explain to me what the community CIS does, and if they're a tool that helps our students and families that need that wraparound service, especially with the individuals this weekend that needed the help and of finding wraparound services and getting their kids support. And if they are responsible for that, are we hindering the support that they would need by cutting it at that large amount that we cut? So first of all, exactly what do they do? How do they help our students? The situation we had going on this weekend, and are we hindering them in any way? Would it, I guess the question would be, will our kids suffer from the amount that we cut if we do use community in service for that
Well,
purpose?
thank you, ma'am, for the question. And I'll let Dr. Crawford give a more detailed response. But related to your statement about will our kids suffer, the more the merrier is always a good thing. And when you're trying to balance a budget, and uncertainties and things are a little tighter now than they've been in the past, and I think we all acknowledge that. The team was tasked with trying to figure out how could we best support our students and families, best support instruction at a cost that will be responsible. And we've met, and there's not just this particular contract, but there's been some cost-saving measures relative to cuts across the board that was necessary for our school systems and school systems across the country. If the situation allowed for us to have a full service CSI program in place, that would absolutely be the best scenario. Do we have other things in place that will fill the gaps? We think so. And I'll let Dr. Crawford explain in more detail in terms of how our guidance and counseling department can help serve. But at some point, we have to embrace the fact that we had to cut. And that was the task that was given to me by this board in terms of balancing a budget. But I would certainly like, entertain any concerns or needs that the board think that we need to reconsider, by all means. But Dr. Crawford.
Okay, before you start, Dr. And Dr. Smith, I do want you to understand, I do understand that we do have to balance the budget, and that was one of the tasks that we did bring to you, that I understand. But I also understand when things arise, sometimes we work off of what we know and the information that we have at the time. But I think it was eye-opening to me this weekend. That's something that I had not experienced. And I just want to make sure that we in the district, we're doing everything and we have the tools that we need to support our students outside, especially with tragedies and unfortunate situations that may arise, and that we have what we need and we're able to support them, even if it's in the smallest way.
Well, we think we can always use more. And if the board wishes to expend more funding to provide more services, we're open to that.
I think Mr. Christmas was next.
Did you,
Oh.
did
Okay,
you need me to, Dr. Smith, you did a very good job. One of the things that when you asked one of the questions, you said what type of support they provide. They provide a targeted support to case managed students. So that targeted support includes academic, behavioral, and attendance. So they have a group of students that they have on their caseload, and they serve those students specifically on their caseload. Outside of that caseload, they are able to partner with the school in which they serve to provide other things that they've identified as needs. Let's say they wanted to have a
have in Clayton County, because it was targeted, supported for those students who was in need. And the reason I am saying that, because I was one of those students. My parents they could have been better, but they wasn't. But that's who God gave me. And so, and I made the best of it. And so those kids deserve way more than just being cut from CSI. They deserve so much more. And everybody ain't gonna make it. And when you have a program like that, it impacts kids so much. Because if it wasn't for programs, I probably would have been a different guy. But we need to really consider doing best by those who are less fortunate.
And I'd like to add something to that, Mr. Christopher. One of the things that
We can't hardly hear you, Dr. Crawford. That's all right. Let's see the rest of the board members. Thank you.
I'm done.
Listen, we had CSI in 21 schools, and we narrowed it down to 14. That's what I said. We had CIS into 21 schools, and we narrowed it down to 14. We can restore it back to 21. We can go beyond that. It is the wishes of the board. That's simple. Yes, ma'am.
I'm waiting to be recognized by the chair. Okay. These are things that Communities in Schools has done for us. Our attendance has improved. Graduation rate has improved. They've had influence on this. And most importantly, some of the things that they've done for our students is aided in tuition, college tuition.
Correct.
I can call a meet when they cut the students' ability to go to college. We cut those down for dual enrollment. There were students at our high schools that were just needing one more class to graduate. They paid for those students to go. They have helped us with students who've lost family members, with burial, all those types of things. What I don't understand is this. We cut our student engagement specialists. That was $5 million that we cut. So how do we go from, we cut that amount of money, and then we were paying $2 million for this, and now we've taken this all the way back down to this meager amount. To me, getting rid of the student engagement specialists, which you all said was duplicated services, that's a plus $5 million as far as I'm concerned. I don't understand why we would cut it like this. And then my other concern is why we wouldn't have all of our high schools here. We don't have Mundy's Mill listed. We don't have Jonesboro listed. We don't have Mount Zion listed. And most importantly, I do not understand why the Perry Center students wouldn't be listed. Those would be the most important ones of all. We could, not have, like, for example, I'm in the Riverdale area, but we have Riverdale Middle listed, we have Riverdale High listed, and then we have Sequoia Middle. If anything, I would think that we could have a person that would split Riverdale Middle and Sequoia, because Sequoia is in Riverdale. To me, that seems to be redundant, and we could just pick up, if we're gonna cut some things, I think we really need to look at some of the schools that we have selected or decided not to have. Because at one point, I think you all had considered not having any support for the Lovejoy area, for Eddie White, for the whole south part of the district. When we left here, when I tried to push for a vote before, I at least thought that you would fund them for 1.5 million. And the money's gone less. So I, of course, support more money. And with the release of these federal funds, I know that I don't think we've been paying for any of their services out of title money, but it can be paid out of title money. Other school districts pay it out of there. So, you could come up with a little bit of money out of there to pick up a school or two.
Ms. Bowles?
Overall, I'm hearing a lot of advocacy for CIS, and just want to acknowledge that all of this is really about our wanting to not remove any additional hands on our scholars when it comes to making sure that they have successful school years. So instead of repeating much of what my colleagues have said, because I am in agreement that we need as many hands on deck as possible, I have more of a process question. Because I find that this conversation has been ongoing, but it's also a little overdue when it comes to budgets, not only ours, but how, fiscal years work. And so my process question here is, since there is so much board level advocacy to expand this group, what next? And when I say what next, it sounds like you all have already agreed to 1.29. And it sounds like based on the board's last understanding, we were going to think about increasing support in the schools. I think they were only in 30 something, like all the elementary and a few middle and high, right?
No.
So we were eventually going to try to get them in more high schools or more middle schools, but the world is worlding. My question is, where do we go from here? Because it doesn't sound like 1.29 is ideal, but we don't want to add to the holdup here. Is there a world in which 1.29 is moved forward and we can do our part to increase the investment? And I don't mean next fiscal year, I mean this school year. Or is this commitment and this conversation year-long and not able to be adjusted?
So there's a question I'd like to add to that, Dr. Smith. If so.
Yeah, as you add to that, you and I had a discussion, and you stated that the 1.29 was what we were going to start off with,
That's what
and that we were going to seek grants,
yes,
and CIS themselves were actually going to go out and see if they could get funding also.
That's what I was going to add. Exactly.
Go for it.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
So this was a starting point, and we asked, is there any way throughout the year that you could secure more funding, and we can also look for additional grants as well and add schools as we move along? They said yes. This was not a definite. If we were able to secure additional funding, they would work extremely hard to find funding in the area and look for partners for us to fund the schools, and we would continue and add schools after that. If we find funding, there are grants out there. Our team has already applied for a grant. As we secure grants, we will then leverage that as well to increase schools. So it's not a one-time thing, hopefully. Hopefully we will be able to find additional funding. They've experienced a cut in their funds as well, and as we have, and they understand.
We can't hardly hear you. But basically what she's saying is that CIS is looking for grant money to help gap fill the shortfall. And let me just be clear with the board and to the community, because I don't want it to appear that the staff is insensitive to the needs of students. We are. We just live in challenging times economically, and hard decisions have to be made. However, we don't have to go back and forth. If the board feels like our fund balance can handle additional schools being added, and we can readjust that quite easily, it's quite simply at the wishes of the board. You know our financial situation as well as anybody. So if you come back to me and say, Dr. Smith, we would like for your team to consider increasing the funding and increasing the support, because I am a firm believer in CIS. I was one of the strongest advocates when we brought CIS to the district, and I believe in the program. I believe in its impact and its usefulness and its benefit to so many families. But there's a lot of tough decisions we have to make, and we make them all the time. But if you think this is one that we need to reconsider, I'm absolutely open to it. Yes, ma'am.
That's why it was a process question, because I know we all want the same thing, which is for our kids to be healthy and well alongside their families. And I go back to the process inquiry because several board members, I think, I may be incorrect, but I feel like have tried to raise this conversation for the past few meetings, and we've been told y'all were negotiating. So we've been unable to share some of these thoughts earlier. And I find that here it is the first day of school, and during our last budget season, again, I welcome any corrections, but I believe our last budget that the board approved also late in May was a 1.75 contract already for CIS, or 2, one of those. So I know it sounds like here we are now, but I don't want it to sound like we've not been trying to have some of these conversations year long. And I too, as a fiscal steward here at CCPS, want us to be good stewards of our money. Just not at the sacrifice of any thing that we can do within our power to sustain, if not expand, our wraparound services.
Right. Okay, so if we did the numbers, you said about 35, they're servicing, the case managers are servicing about 35 students, which I'll get you in 1 second, which totals up to about 490 students. So 490 are getting serviced by CIS for 1.3 million. So you're asking to increase 7 more, getting them back to where they're at. How much is that? 7 times 35.
I think they're
I think one of the things, we originally, when we left that time, we thought at least if you were gonna cut it, was gonna be at 1.5.
Right.
And the 1.5 would have covered what we had.
Gotcha.
Because,
No, that's not true.
well, that was the understanding when I'd spoken to Mr. Brown, and what I'm saying here.
And we thought that to be the case too, but when Mr.
Okay.
Brown went back to his staff, they said, no, we can't do that.
Okay.
And so, that's not true.
Well,
In terms
if-
of being able to keep the program intact, at a reduced cost from 2 to 1.5, that's not.
Okay, well, even if we couldn't keep what we had, is it possible to go back to the 1.5?
We can go 1.5, 1.75, full 2.
Well,
I
got
we don't
you,
have
but-
to expend a lot of time
Right.
on this subject because I'm a firm believer in the program. If the board thinks that we can afford to go further after knowing the status of our financial situation, I embrace that. So
Okay.
I'm not debating.
Right.
I'm just saying if y'all think and you think that we need to reconsider and we want to pull it from our fund balance in order to support more students, I'm for that. But that's y'all's decision.
Right. I think there's 2 options on the table here. Those 2 options is just simply moving them to that suitable number. And then the second option is what Dr. Crawford presented to us. And it's take the 1.3 right now, let them go seek grants. One of the things you left out was that CIS is going to look for the grants. And according to Dr. Crawford, our school district are looking for grants also to actually finance that. So that option is go with the 1.3 tonight and let the district do its job and see if they can add more to it, or we can stop right here and say, raise it to the 1.5. Let me poll the board. Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Pull up to your mic.
I'm sorry, and my question also is a process question.
Right.
Because if we already approved the budget for a specific dollar amount, and we have many contracts in Clayton County, how did we get here? Like, why this, why now? And after the budget has already been approved, what happened that raised that question that we need to look at this particular service in order for us to say we need to cut? And this is just for clarification.
It's a great question.
I don't understand how we pull one contract out of all the work we do in the district to decide that we needed to come here and continue to have an ongoing conversation.
That's an excellent question, Dr. Smith.
That's y'all's decision. Y'all because the board members had interest in increasing that. Board members were not satisfied with the current status in terms of the support that we pay for CSI. So board members raised the issue about reconsidering, and I'm open to it.
No,
I'm sorry.
what she's asking you is that we approved a tentative budget.
Right.
In that budget, CIS was allotted 2.5 million, right? What was the number?
No.
What was the number?
No, let me correct it. If you go back and look at the purchase report, the purchasing report actually had it at the price of 2 million,
Right, 2
whatever
million,
it
okay.
was.
Right.
And then when we came to the meeting,
They made
that
the
was
adjustment.
when Dr. Crawford and them decided to pull it. And when we left the meeting, you all said you would go to 1.5, which we thought would, was understandable. But as Ms. Hill said, when we approved the budget, we approved the budget based on what it was at 2 million.
Correct.
So so we're not trying to make anybody.
The budget included 1.25, and once we renegotiated with them, after hearing from Mr. Brown, that if we went back up as much as 1.5, we would be able to restore all the services. And then once we entered into that conversation, whomever decision makers informed us that that's not true. They're not going to be able to do it at 1.5 with fully intact. So once the team negotiated again to try to keep as much service as possible, they landed at 1.29 with the numbers of schools that we've included in the report. But again, if the board would like for this team to increase those numbers and we pull the money from our fund balance, we're so open.
My question to you, Dr. Smith, is you're stating that when we passed the budget, it was allotted 1.2 or the 2 million?
Ms. Bivens, can we just get Ms. Bivens to come down and tell us?
It was 2.3.
It's 2 million.
Good evening, everyone. During the budget process, we had meetings with departments. We were looking at reductions in the budget. One of the things that we discussed was duplication of services. The communities and schools came up. We had everyone went and looked at it, and we were all in the room together in the superintendent's conference room, and we agreed to cut that contract in half. That is what we budgeted based on that. When the agenda item came to the board, Dr. Hendricks called to my attention. He said that, didn't we cut the communities and schools during the budget process? I said, yes, we did. So that's why we put it, because it had $2 million on there. So the department had to go back to renegotiate, because we had all agreed that that would be a part of our budget reductions when we were trying to balance the budget. It was reduced by half.
So what I'm hearing is our budget process began last November, December, within the district. And then we started having conversations here in the boardroom, maybe like March, April, with community public hearings. All that to say is, if all these changes were added in the budget, that sounds like 6, 7, 8 months ago, where the cut was already made.
Yes, ma'am.
Yet it's day one of school right now. And last we all heard it was it wasn't 1.29 till today. Are you understanding why that leaves some of us confused?
Yes, so I didn't take part in the contract negotiation piece of it. That was separate. What we did is we all had discussions, and these were areas that the departments brought to us where we could make reductions. That's what we put in the budget. After that, the departments would go back to their respective vendors or whatever to make those reductions, or when those contracts came up for renewal at that time, then that's when we would have the negotiations on, okay, this is what we can do this year.
Again, I think just to try to bring us together, I think I'm hearing a theme. We all want our kids to get as much support as we can, and you've got board members who are concerned that we've reduced our schools that we're supporting instead of added on. So we're here trying to figure out where to go next. And it sounds like, to Dr. Smith's point, we have every opportunity to increase from 1.29, and we also have the opportunity to respect the suggestion from the superintendent. And I think at this time, I just want to hand it back to you, Mr. Chair, but I just want to reiterate all the process questions that have come up this evening are not only important, but preventable in the future. And I think that as fiscal stewards and strong community partners, we want to work in a space where our partners can depend on the numbers we tell them when we tell them those numbers, and that if and when any of this is up for discussion and under the influence and purview of the board, that you loop us in before day one of school, and ideally early into the budgeting process when there's a conference room of people talking about what to cut 50% of.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking back at our meetings. We passed our budget on June 2nd. And to Ms. Hill's point, and also to Ms. Bowles' point, when budgets are due, just like we needed to have ours done by 6:30 of June 30th, we passed ours on the 2nd. Communities in schools budget needs to be passed. They've been holding their budget up because of us. When we passed our budget on the 2nd, and then we came to our work session, the contract said $2 million, which means that when you passed the budget, that was the amount of money that you had planned, that we had planned to pay them. If that wasn't the amount of money, then that should have been a discussion prior to us passing the budget. When after we tabled it, you said we were going to go to 1.5. If it's a big problem, you know, I'm willing to concede. I'm not trying to overburden anything, but what I am concerned about is us having services for our students. And I just felt like when we left, we thought that it was, at least it was going to be 1.5. And I'm not understanding why we can't have the 1.5, because if you're going to turn in something to us, you can't have us pass a budget and then all of a sudden somebody says, oh, you know, I forgot, let's go back and redo this.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for a recommendation.
I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Okay, what's your recommendation? The 1 point?
My recommendation is for the board to determine collectively if we want to increase the funding for CSI so the staff can go and make that happen. That's my recommendation to the board.
I have a question, Dr. Smith. With those additional schools that Mr. Christmas spoke of, be added to that list that's not on there, such as?
If we increase funding, we could capture the schools that he's concerned about and others.
I mean, that list, like Jonesboro's not, I mean, other schools that's not on that list, would that be captured?
Well, we got 67 schools and 2 million paid for 21. The 1.3 or the 1.5 paid for 14. So considering that, and you want all schools covered, then it will be at a cost significantly. Yes, ma'am.
Those schools that were not on the list, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all 66, just those identified schools that we just mentioned as of tonight.
If we increase the budget, we can add more schools. Now, it might be difficult to try to satisfy who all wants their particular school, so we have to let the team make a recommendation. That's what we did based on what we consider to be a priority. But again, you know, I stand ready to add more by increasing the budget if it's the wishes of the board.
Mr. Christmas.
That I looked at an email today where our tax digest decreased by 7.7 million. So we have to consider that as well. Now, if you guys are serious, and I don't mean to sound that you're not, about going after grants for these schools that is losing services, and CSI is serious about going after grants for these students losing services, I'm willing to go with your recommendation, but you got to understand that the SESs was eliminated as well, and that was $5 million, as Dr. Goree said. So we got to have some money somewhere. But I'm willing, and I don't want to prolong this meeting, so I'm willing to do your recommendation, but in the near future, expecting those schools who lost services to regain services based on
if we
grants.
secure grants. Yes, sir.
Right. With that said, Mr. Christmas, would you be willing to start the motion? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to add to try to pull this together and kind of go where Mr. Christmas was going. I don't think there would be anything stopping the board from voting on the recommendation at the table. There's also nothing stopping chair and
They
superintendent.
can't hardly hear you, Mr. Doyle.
The board could vote on the item as it is tonight, but as several board members have talked about, this could come back in a certain amount of time, maybe this fall, and it probably could come back in a way that is a little bit more, you know, having heard what the board members have to say, administration would be able to plan according to that, and we could have a work session discussion on that point, if you like, Mr. Chair.
Good deal. So, Mr. Christmas, are you willing to entertain a motion in which we accept the superintendent's?
Yeah, I would like to move that we go with the 1.5. And I would also like to add to that, in the event that, you know, it doesn't pass or whatever, could the team consider, since in Riverdale, you already have the Riverdale Middle and Sequoia, that you either split that person between those two schools and maybe pick up points out? But first, we'll just go with the money, with the 1.5.
Is that a motion?
Yes, I'm moving that we
All right, do I have a
consider
second?
the 1.5 million.
Is that second? The motion has been made for 1.5 by Ms. Dr. Guree, and it has been seconded by Ms. Jasmine Bowles. Can I get a vote? Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Cooper.
Question, I'm sorry. How are the schools picked as far as who receives the?
Good evening. The schools was picked and ranked. We first started at looking at the services that communities and schools provided, which was attendance rate, graduation rate, and behavior data. So we started to rank the schools. The first school that we started at had the lowest attendance rate. So we went down to the next school that had the second lowest attendance rate. And then we started to couple in the graduation rate with those schools. The only outlier of that with the graduation rate was the Perry Center, which is a different model than the traditional schools. So that's why we ended up having to select. We started this negotiation process out with a commitment to 1.5 and be able to service the same schools that we had last year. CIS then came back with the CFO and said they could not provide those same services for 1.5. So we went back and negotiated, and they say they could service this amount of schools for 1.29. So we went through the selection process, vetted through the schools, and tried to identify those schools along with their feeder patterns so that the students can get support throughout from middle school to high school. CIS funds 4 elementary schools at no charge. They are funded already through a grant.
Point of inquiry, was there a vote on the floor?
Yes.
There was, but I'm going to rescind that. Let's finish the discussion, and then we will redo those motions because I want to make sure everybody's gotten their say. Are you finished with what you have to say?
It was an inquiry.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to be sure, because I think that was all very valuable. I just didn't want to lose whatever we were in the middle
We'll
of.
redo it.
Okay.
Mr. Christmas, you have anything else? Ms. Goree, do you have something?
No, I'm ready for.
Ms. Williams, do you have anything? Go ahead. You ready to vote? Dr. Haney? Ms. Hill, you ready? Ms. Cooper, you ready? Oh, you still have something else?
I don't think he was done.
Huh?
He wasn't done.
Oh, he wasn't done? I'm sorry.
The vote is,
And that was just the context of the decision and the negotiation that we implored in with CIS. I mean, like Dr. Crawford and Dr. Smith stated, at that value, that was the best service that they could provide to our schools. Realizing that all of our schools need support. There's not one school that will not need support, but we negotiated with them and they told us what they could provide for that price value. Again, we started at 1.5 and 1.5 was inclusive of all the schools. That was there last year.
Is there anybody in the audience that wants to? No? Ready for the motion? All right, Ms. Goree, can you repeat that motion for me, please?
I move that we have an agreement for 1.5 million.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bowles. So it's been moved by Dr. Goree and seconded by Ms. Bowles. Can I get a vote? It's unanimous. People, that is it for this evening. The meeting is adjourned.